All right, welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the world of marine network routers. Getting online out on the water is pretty important these days, and luckily for us, the folks over at Concord Marine Electronics, they've got some great info on this, so let's unpack it, right? Like, imagine you're out on your yacht, miles from shore. You want to share that amazing sunset, with everyone back home. Or maybe you're in the middle of a video call or need to download a weather report. Or just want to stream your favorite show. That's when a marine network router, it really becomes your best friend out there.
It really is the heart of your onboard connectivity. It's not just about getting online, though. It's about making sure all your devices, from your chart plotters to your smart TV, can talk to each other efficiently and securely.
Right. And Concord Marine Electronics, they lay out a few different types of routers to think about, starting with wireless routers, like the Starlink Gen 3. This one seems perfect for getting, solid Wi-Fi on boats up to 50 feet. And it can handle a bunch of devices, up to 125. Plus, it uses Starlink, which I know has been a game changer for internet on boats.
It has, but there's a catch. The Starlink Gen 3 is great for basic connectivity, but it doesn't have failover. Think of it like this, like having a spare tire. If one connection goes flat, you want to be able to switch to another one without losing your internet. And on the water, that kind of redundancy, it can be super important.
So if you're really serious about staying connected, no matter what, you might want to consider a combination router. Concord Marine Electronics mentions the Peplink Pepwave Max BR1 as a solid option here. What makes these routers special?
Well, they bring cellular connectivity into the mix.
Yeah.
So you're not just relying on Starlink. Imagine you're cruising along a coastline and your Starlink signal, it gets interrupted maybe by a cliff or a tall building. With a combination router, you can just seamlessly switch over to a cellular network and stay online.
It's like having a backup plan for your internet. I see that the Peplink can even use 5G. I guess that means you could potentially have crazy fast speeds even when you're offshore.
Exactly. And these combination routers, they often come with multiple SIM card slots. And that gives you the flexibility to use different cellular carriers depending on where you are, your location, and get the best signal wherever you are.
Okay, so you've got basic wireless routers and then combination routers that add cellular. But Concord Marine Electronics suggests something even more powerful for, larger vessels, or those with really high bandwidth needs. The MDS Blender, they call it the ultimate marine networking solution, and frankly, I'm intrigued.
As you should be. The MDS Blender, it's in a league of its own. It can handle up to 500 devices. Can you believe that? And it offers something called unlimited network segmentation.
Network segmentation, that sounds pretty technical. What does that mean for someone who, might not be a tech expert?
Think of it this way. You can create separate Wi-Fi networks on your boat. So maybe one for guests so they can stream movies, without any lag. Another one for your crew to access work files. And a completely separate one for your critical navigation systems. Let's make sure everything runs smoothly and one network doesn't, mess with another.
That's a great feature, especially on a larger yacht with, lots of people and complex systems. You wouldn't want a guest's Netflix binge to mess with the captain's chart plotter.
Yeah.
So what else makes the MDS Blender so special?
Well, it uses this technology called bonding to deliver these incredible speeds, up to 1 Gbps potentially. It basically combines multiple internet connections like your Starlink, your cellular, and even dockside Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
To create one super fast pipeline for all your data. It's like having multiple lanes on a highway,
right,
but for your internet traffic.
That's seriously impressive. And I bet it's a lifesaver if one connection drops out. You're automatically routed to the next best option, right?
Absolutely. It's called instant failover, and it guarantees that you're always connected, even in the most challenging conditions. Plus, you can monitor and troubleshoot the entire system remotely from anywhere in the world.
Now that is impressive. So it seems like the MDS Blender is packed with features, but I'm guessing it comes with a, hefty price tag.
It does. It's definitely an investment, and it might be overkill for smaller boats, with basic internet needs, but for yachts with sophisticated systems and users who need a lot of bandwidth, it offers a level of control and security and just peace of mind that's really hard to beat.
So we've talked about all these amazing routers, but they're only as good as the internet sources they're connected to, right?
Right.
Concord Marine Electronics mentions options like Starlink, Cellular, and even, good old dockside broadband. What are the pros and cons of each?
Well, let's start with the rising star, Starlink. It's a satellite internet constellation, which basically means a bunch of satellites orbiting Earth to provide internet access. And what makes Starlink special is that its satellites are in low Earth orbit. So that results in faster speeds and less lag compared to, traditional satellite internet.
So for someone who wants to, like, explore those remote islands across oceans, Starlink would be the way to go.
It's definitely a fantastic option for those seeking, adventure off the beaten path. But even Starlink has its limitations. Tall buildings, dense foliage, or even just bad weather can disrupt the signal. And coverage, while it's constantly improving, it isn't global just yet.
Got it. So what about cellular connectivity? I thought that was just for phones. Can you actually get decent internet on a boat using cellular data?
You absolutely can. Cellular technology has come a long way. With 4G and now 5G networks, you can get, incredibly fast internet speeds, especially in coastal areas. But as you venture further offshore, the signal strength will inevitably weaken.
So it's a trade-off between, like, coverage area and speed. What about dockside broadband? Is that still a relevant option in this age of satellite and cellular internet?
It definitely has its place. Dockside broadband, which is basically internet delivered through a cable at the marina, it can be a very cost-effective and reliable solution when you're docked. Perfect for downloading large files, updating software, or catching up on, your favorite shows. But of course, once you untie those lines and head out to sea, you'll lose that connection.
So it sounds like the ideal setup for a serious boater might involve a combination of these internet sources.
Precisely, and that's where the magic of bonding comes in. Remember how we talked about the Peplink and MDS Blender routers? Being able to combine multiple internet connections. That's what bonding is all about. It's like having multiple lanes on a highway. If one lane gets congested, your data can simply switch to another lane and keep flowing smoothly.
I'm starting to see why they call it the ultimate marine networking solution. It's about having options, redundancy, and the ability to, adapt to whatever conditions you encounter out there.
Exactly. Imagine you're on a long passage. You might start by using your dockside broadband connection while you're still in the marina. As you head offshore, you switch over to Starlink for continuous coverage. But then, let's say, a storm rolls in and disrupts your Starlink signal. With a bonded connection, your router would automatically switch over to cellular data, ensuring you stay connected, even in, the roughest seas.
That's incredible. It's like having this invisible safety net for your internet. So we've got these powerful routers, multiple internet sources, and this clever bonding technology. What else do we need to know about building a reliable marine network?
Well, one crucial aspect that often gets overlooked is network security. As we bring more and more devices onto our boats, everything from, smart TVs to security cameras, we're also increasing our vulnerability to, cyber threats.
That's a scary thought. You mean someone could potentially hack into my boat's network and, access sensitive data or even, take control of systems?
It's not something to be overly alarmed about, but it's definitely something to be aware of. A well-designed marine network includes robust security measures, like firewalls and intrusion detection systems to protect your data, your privacy, and the integrity of your onboard systems.
So it's like having a digital security system, but for your boat. Makes sense. But all this talk about routers, bonding, and network security, it seems pretty complicated.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. One of the key takeaways here is that, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. There are experts out there, like the folks at Concord Marine Electronics, who can help you design and implement a marine network that meets your specific needs and budget.
That's reassuring. So while it's good to understand the basics of how all this works, the actual, installation and setup is best left to the professionals.
Absolutely. They can assess your requirements, recommend the right equipment, and ensure everything is, properly configured for optimal performance and security. Think of it like hiring a contractor to build your dream home. You want someone with experience and expertise to make sure the foundation is solid and everything is built to last.
That's a great analogy. So we've covered a lot of ground here: different router models, internet sources, bonding, network segmentation, even security. It's a lot to digest, but I'm starting to get a much clearer picture of what goes into creating a reliable and secure marine network.
It's like putting together a puzzle. Each piece plays a crucial role. And when they all fit together perfectly, you get a beautiful and functional whole.
Okay, so we've talked about, all the technical stuff, but I'm curious, how does all this impact the actual experience of, being on a boat? What does a good marine network mean for, the crew and the guests?
Yeah, that's a great question. For the crew, it's a game changer. Reliable communication is just crucial for safety and efficient operations, right? Imagine being able to send real-time updates on weather conditions, engine performance, or even, just today's catch back to shore.
It's like having a direct line to the outside world, even when you're miles from land.
Exactly. And don't forget about the benefits for guests. These days, everyone expects to be connected, even on vacation. So a strong marine network means guests can stream movies, video chat with loved ones, or even work remotely while enjoying, the beauty of the ocean.
So you're saying a good internet connection can actually make a boating trip more enjoyable and relaxing.
Absolutely. It's all about creating a seamless experience where guests can stay connected to the things that matter to them without sacrificing the peace and tranquility of, being at sea.
It's like bringing the comforts of home out to the open water. One thing that strikes me is the sense of safety that comes with being connected. If there's an emergency, you can call for help or access important information, even if you're far from shore.
That's such an important point. It's easy to get caught up in the entertainment and the convenience aspects. But a robust marine network can literally be a lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing you can stay in touch with, emergency services or access weather updates in real time, it just provides immense peace of mind.
It's about feeling secure and empowered to explore with confidence. So as we wrap up our deep dive into marine network routers, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say it's this. Don't underestimate the importance of investing in a solid marine network. It's not just about staying connected. It's about enhancing safety, efficiency, and enjoyment on the water.
It's about making the most of your time on the water, whether you're, a seasoned sailor or a weekend cruiser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. There are experts out there who can guide you through the process of designing and implementing, the perfect network for your needs.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about marine network routers, from basic wireless setups to, the incredible power of the MDS Blender. We've explored it all.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
And until next time, fair winds and